Well, it was just about a half a year ago when Honda introduced the all-new 10th generation Honda Civic, and it won a lot of accolades, including North American Car of the Year and Ajax Car of the Year in Canada. Well, one thing they did promise when they launched the Civic sedan was they were launching 4 other vehicles, and this happens to be number 2. This is the Honda Civic Coupe. We're here in beautiful British Columbia to see what it's all about. Since all 10th generation Civics will use the new Global Civic platform, the Coupe shares many things with its 4-door sibling. At first glance though, there are some pretty obvious changes, like this new coupe color called Energy Green, which gathered a lot of looks. So what else is different?
It's different in a number of ways. So I guess one of the big differences is that we have taken the roof and we dropped it by almost a whole inch compared with the sedan. So you get this kind of far faster, sleeker silhouette. We've also taken 5.5 inches out of the rear overhang. So you really get the feeling that we've taken the wheels and we pulled them out to the extent of the vehicle. So you get this very kind of fun to drive and sporty feel. You'll notice the interior has the seats are new and the rear seats are new, and they also feature a kind of a different, a more kind of lifestyle material choices on the inside. And then I think one of the big visual differences is when you look at the car from the rear, you have this signature tail-light graphic. What we wanted to do with this car, and what we're very, very proud of, is we're kind of correcting something. Like right now, when you look at the current Civic on the road in the daytime, you can identify it as a Civic, but in the nighttime, it's very hard to differentiate it and pull it apart from the other cars on the road. Now, with this Civic Coupe, you can be following it on the freeway. It doesn't matter if it's the daytime or the nighttime. As soon as you see that taillight illuminated, you're gonna know, bang, that's a Civic Coupe. And I think that's a very strong characteristic that differentiates it not only from the outgoing Civic Coupe, but also a lot of the cars on the road today.
So obviously the big changes are on the exterior and the dimensions, and this being a coupe. The interior really is no different than you get in the sedan, and you could watch the previous video on the sedan, but let me go over quickly what you get in the Civic Coupe. You do have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You have a very low seated position. You have this touchscreen here. This one's equipped with navigation. Now there are 2 exclusives for the Canadian market. On this Touring here, you get paddle shifters for the transmission, even though it's a CVT, and you also get wireless charging, and those are exclusive to the Canadian market. Now the back seat is large enough for a couple adults back there. The headroom is going to be a little bit more limited because of the rake of the rear fastback type of roof for this 2-door. In a pinch, you can carry people back there. Now the powertrains on the sedan and the coupe are the same. So that's a 2-liter 4-cylinder putting out 158 horsepower, or the 1.5-liter turbocharged engine putting out 174 horsepower, and that's what we have here. Now the 2-liter comes with the option of a 6-speed manual transmission or a CVT. Unfortunately, at this time, the turbo still only gets the CVT, but that is going to change in the near future. Now, one thing that I really did like about the new Civic in general, even with the sedan, is you have a lower seating position now. You have a very sporty stance, and this one is no different. You sit nice and low, but it also has a different retuned suspension, different dampers, different springs and torsion bars, and it feels really sporty. I just really wish I could have a manual transmission now. Driving all the way up to Whistler here on the Sea to Sky Highway, it's been a pleasure driving this car. It feels really refined. It's extremely quiet. In fact, they say that over the previous generation, this car is 70% more sealed from outside openings, and what that is noise. If you have openings, you get noise, and so this one is a lot quieter. The ride is very sophisticated, and it's full of a lot of features. New for 2016 also is a package called Honda Sensing. It doesn't matter what trim level you get. To add this to the LX or the EXT, it's basically $1,000. And what do you get for $1,000? You get a lot. You get things like adaptive cruise control with low speed follow, lane keeping assist, forward collision warning, lane departure warning, all those for $1,000. The lane sensing on the Touring model is included. Like I said earlier, the new Civic will come in 5 different iterations, and the first one being the Civic sedan that we tested. Now this Civic Coupe, which I think looks fantastic. This could be the best looking Civic Coupe that they've ever made. And so what's next? Well, there's the SI coming, the 5-door hatch, and of course the Type R that everybody wants to drive.